backpacking food is boring. It's the same ramen, the same bars, and the same instant dinners day after day after day. And I got tired of it. So I went looking for a better way to eat on trail without having to add complexity or weight. So let me show you what I found. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, and thanks for being here with me today. Hey, today I just want to talk about how boring trail food is and a couple of things that we can do to maybe spice that up a little bit and enjoy a little more what we're eating on the trail. So if you are anything like me, you've probably basically bought the same thing or variations of the same thing for the entire trail or the entire hike. Could be ramen, it could be the same kind of bars, backpacking meals, kind of the same things there. And that kind of becomes your meals each day and for multiple days in a row. After 3 to 4 days, it all just starts to taste the same. So if you're with me, then we are in the same boat. It is not fun, and I know you know what I'm talking about. So why do we do this? Why do we pick the same foods over and over again, even though we know we're kind of bored of them? I think it's kind of normal, unfortunately, or fortunately. We tend to, like as humans, order, and we like what we're comfortable with, we like routine, and we revert back to what we've always done. So why do we pick these foods? A lot of times it's because it's convenient, it's easy to prepare if you're thinking about bars or you're thinking about either cold soaking ramen or even, boiling a little bit of water for ramen. Those are things that are just easy for us. And because we're creatures of habit, we tend to gravitate towards the same things. We see another hiker use a bar and it's like, okay, we're gonna use that bar too. And when we get into town or when we get into resupply or when we buy things to ship to ourselves, we think, we'll just buy in bulk. I'm always going to like this kind of a bar. I'm always going to like this kind of a meal, this kind of a lunch, this kind of a dinner. And it just becomes easy and convenient. So you are not alone in this. I think, especially early on in a hiking career, this is a pretty normal thing to do and to go through. Now, one thing that's probably not talked about or recognized enough is there is a hidden cost to kind of doing the same old. And the easy one that we know is really just boredom. The food becomes very boring to us. We're not enjoying what we're eating. And when we don't enjoy what we eat, one of the consequences of that is we probably don't eat it anymore, or there's a chance that we're just gonna say, this doesn't do well for me. I'm choking it down. I'm not gonna eat it. And when we don't eat it, we are now losing calories, we're losing nutrition, we're losing things that our body needs when we are exerting ourselves quite a lot on a hike or a thru hike. And because of that boringness of the food, our appetite is probably not very high. If you're anything like me, the first few days on trail, I don't really have much of an appetite as it is. So if you mix that in with boring food or food that gets boring after a day or two, I could severely undershot my caloric needs because I just don't feel like eating and the food is super boring. Therefore, my recovery isn't very good. My sleep in some degrees isn't very good. And I really my body starts to not do very well with all the output that is happening. So look, I have tried a number of different things to overcome this. My first trails, I fell into this classic example of same thing, no matter what. Tuna is lightweight and lots of protein, so brought a bunch of tuna. Man, tuna gets old real quick. Bars that were very dense with calories, lots of nuts, dates, very healthy. And to be honest, that just didn't do it for me. And I was gagging, in some cases, gagging those bars down because, hey, they're good. And when you mix it with peanut butter is great on the trail too, right? With all the fats and whatnot. It just didn't work for me. So I evolved. I tried something different. I even tried to cold soak things I thought I would like. Rice, dehydrated refried beans, taco seasoning, things to give a little bit of spice. And that helped to a degree. But even that just was not enough for me. But I did learn that things that are a little spicy, a little acidic, work well for me. Sugar, unfortunately, is something that I can eat and enjoy, I have to do that in moderation, but that is something that can really help me get hungry or help kind of kick in the desire to eat. Texture is really important. Chips, crunchy things are really helpful to either mix in to some of the food or just to eat separately to give yourself a little bit of variety from what can usually be kind of soft or mushy foods that we will typically eat while we're on trail. So the big shift for me was realizing that I wasn't really looking for more calories. I was looking for something different, something that I was excited about. And what I found is just a better way. And that includes a lot of subtle things. That includes varying up your textures, varying up tastes or flavors. There needs to be, for me, a balance between what is sweet and savory. I also need to pay attention to foods that I know are good for recovery. Protein, lots of protein, and the right mixture of carbohydrates, as well as fats, and where that timing goes through the day. All of these things add a little bit of interest and intrigue to your food, which then helps you to be more interested in the food that you've planned or that you've packed, and a more enjoyable eating experience. So the problem was I didn't have the time, the interest, or the knowledge to build trail meals from scratch. So I went looking for somebody who had already done this. And what I found was the Backcountry Foodie. And if you haven't seen what Erin is building over at the Backcountry Foodie, I would suggest you go and take a look at that. But why I love what she is producing is, first off, Erin is a hiker in and of herself, an accomplished hiker, a long distance hiker. She's a nutritionist, so she understands the needs of hikers on the trail. And she has created some of the most simple recipes that are out there that any of us can go and do, especially at home. And if we're on a longer distance trail, the ingredients, the way that things come together in her meals are very, very trail simple, don't take a lot of time, and are things that are easy for us to do. And on top of that, and the icing on the cake, they actually taste good. They are enjoyable. They are a variety of textures and flavors that make things really interesting and, in my opinion, more exciting to eat. So if you are interested in the Backcountry Foodie, I do have a link below. It is an affiliate link, so want to get that disclaimer out there. There is a discount code as well if that is something that you are interested in. You don't have to go subscribe to the Backcountry Foodie to make your trail meals better. So let me share with you a couple of things that have really made a difference to me as I am on the trail and made food much more enjoyable, at least than it used to be. First, there needs to be a good balance between sweet and savory. I think sometimes we think when we're on the trail, we need to eat really healthy. We need to get the nuts, the fats, then some of the backpacking meals that are typically more savory. And depending on what you want to do for lunch, trail mix, or maybe you do some kind of ramen or cold soak, you've got to add a little bit of sugar in there, something to spice things up, not from a spiciness standpoint, but just to change things up on your palate. So sugar is helpful. You can choose how far you go there, but a little bit of sugar every so often will really help kind of reset your taste buds and make things be a little more enjoyable. And again, I have found that more acidic type sugar treats are really helpful. Sour Patch Kids, gummies that are a little more on the sour side, things like that are really helpful for me. So balance your sweet and savory, add a little bit of sweet to that savory, and I think you'll see some improvements. Second, I would add one textured piece to your meal each day. And again, if you're doing backpacking meals, dehydrated meals, those can often be kind of mushy. Throw some corn chips in there, throw chips in there, throw Cheetos in there. If you make little wraps, throw some Cheetos or chips into your wraps. Do something to change the texture up and give yourself a little bit of crunch. That is another thing that is really, really helpful for me on the trail. So number 3 is upgrade your recovery calories. A great rule of thumb is the 4-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. So look at what you're doing throughout your day for your normal meals and snacks. Maybe total up what you have for carbohydrates and what you have for proteins. If you can get the whole day to average around a 4-to-1 profile or ratio, you're doing pretty good. But pro tip here, most of us, myself included, are not eating enough protein while on the trail to get adequate recovery of our muscles. So if you can up that a little bit, I would highly suggest that you do so. And my 4th and final point here, friends, is just add in some kind of a meal that you are really looking forward to. and disregard the weight. I know that goes against everything that we do, but if you've got a meal that you really enjoy and maybe it weighs a little bit more, I think it's worth the enjoyment over carrying the weight. So my fourth and final tip here would be take with you a meal that you just enjoy and don't worry about what that weight penalty is. Well, friends, thanks for joining me today for this video on something that I think a lot of us have a challenge with, which is our food on trail. Takeaways are this: food doesn't have to be boring. A lot of times we get into the same habits and routines, and if we can break those up a little bit, I think food becomes a lot more enjoyable on the trail. Second, check out the Backcountry Foodie if you think that would be a good option or an interesting option for you. You may be in that planning phase for your adventures into 2026, and I highly recommend this resource as something that I use to plan a lot of my food out as well. So I've talked to you about things that I have learned with food. If you want to see how I used to plan with food and some of the challenges that I had of really overthinking things and trying to optimize them, let me point you to the video I made about how I planned food for the John Muir Trail. I will link that video here, and I will catch you all in the next one, friends. Peace.